Hey, what's going on, everybody? Welcome to the live today. We're going to be talking about the Pixel 5a. Just give me a sec here to get these notifications sent out. It's kind of crazy how I got to do this. Just was not starting out to be a good morning for me, but nonetheless, I will get this done. I'm tweeting it right now on Twitter. So while I'm doing this real quick, just tell me how you guys' day is starting off. Has it been a pretty interesting morning for you guys? All right, tweet. Got it out. Had this scheduled, but then the live stream was just not working. What's up, Rod? How's it going? Welcome and good morning. Good morning to you. Got my coffee here. I thought I would different setting for the podcast. So, yeah. Make sure that this stuff is just good. Hopefully, it's good. But I got my coffee ready so we can talk. Kind of slow start. Oh, really? You work at Cricket? I don't know if you may have told me before, but I forgot. I got very bad memory. But how many customers so far? It's been an interesting morning. So first off, the new Team Pixel members have been selected. Drum roll. I was not selected. Oh well, next year probably. But there are a few people that I know that have been selected into Team Pixel, and I'm actually really proud of them that they got in, and very happy for them that they were able to make it in there. One of them, I guess it's safe to say who they are because they're going to be announcing that they are part of Team Pixel. They're going to be getting, all the goodie treatments from Team Pixel in order to facilitate brand build and brand recognition. So a good buddy of mine, B-Tech Reviews, has been selected as one of the new people to join Team Pixel. And everyone give them a round of applause. I'm excited for them. All the new members. I'm excited for Mike. I know he works really hard for YouTube. So for him to be selected as one of the newly selected Team Pixel members to join Team Pixel, it does state a lot to be selected. It does state that he's done it. Not that that's the pinnacle of what he wants to do on YouTube, but hard work when you bust your butt to not that that was his focus, but just in general, his passion for mobile tech review and things like that. He busts his butt. Sometimes it's a little, you deal with the disheartening things, like for instance, one of the most popular ones that I'm sure all content creators can relate with is when you put together something and you work really hard at it and then you upload it for everyone to see and you're like, this is pretty good work. Like, maybe you tried a new trick, you tried a new edit or something like that. And then when you do it and it's up there and it's like 5 views, 10 views, 15, maybe 20 views, and you're like, I worked really hard and it doesn't get to that point. It could be a little bit disheartening, and we've all experienced that, So for him to make it into Team Pixel, shows that even if at times when you feel like that you're not that good, there are those people who have different opinions, and they will see an aspect of what you do that you haven't even seen yourself. And so I just gotta say to him, like congratulations, man. I'm super happy that you got invited in. And I think that's like the round of new Team Pixel members that's going in. I don't know who the other ones are. There's not like a list that shows like who are the new Team Pixel members. But you know, yeah, it's pretty exciting. So I didn't get in, but that's okay. Maybe next year. It would have been cool though. It would have been cool if I got surprised with the email saying that I've been you know in. That would have been like a pretty cool birthday gift. You know, birthday's a week away, but hey, it's always next time. Always next time. So definitely going to recommend you guys that, you know, when newer Pixel devices come out, definitely check out BTech reviews, check out Ascentech, check out CV Tech, check out Sneed Mobile Tech. Yeah, those are the homies that are part of the Team Pixel crew, along with the rest of the Team Pixel members. But that we got the congratulations out the way. I wanted to talk more about the Pixel 5a, the excitement of it, because it is around the corner. It is coming. And like the hype, you know, it should be picking up here soon. The hype should start to come up here soon. There are those people who actually are A series supporters. And I've seen a lot of this on social media, and nothing wrong with it. I mean, that's probably one of the aspects of the A series from Google Pixel that I think is just, you know, outstanding, is the fact that they can build a device that's considered mid-ranger, that doesn't have a lot of the high features added into it, but still yield the exact same experience you would get from a flagship Pixel phone. Some people will disagree with me on it, and they'll look at the little minute things about it, but I look at the overall feel of the user interface, the fluidity of the operating system, along with the hardware, how well it's optimized, and those are the big key points when it comes to the A series devices. Still not sure why Google is releasing so close to the Pixel 6 launch. Honestly, I couldn't even say that either. Like, I was expecting that the Pixel 5a be announced at Google I/O this year, since they were going to have an I/O this year, and they did do one. And they literally, I mean, there were some cool things they talked about. Trust me, I watched all the different keynotes that they had, specifically including, you know, more development with Android 12, API security, and all that type of stuff. I watched that, but I was really hoping for was a 5a announcement at I/O, the same way that they announced the Pixel 3a, which was the very first of the A series devices. They announced that at I/O 2019, and it came with a very good review, and a lot of people were really excited for it. And you know, those people that attended I/O got surprised with their own units to review, so that was even more cool. And I was thinking that you know, that's what they were going to do, a spring launch for the A series, and then a fall launch for their flagship. I honestly would love for their flagship launch to be in the summer, just kind of move away from Apple and theirs. I mean, I know they're competing with it, and that's the reason why that you know, a lot of people will say that the Pixel 6 being leaked on store.google.com, the reason that they did it was because the Samsung event and then the Apple event in September, and they wanted to keep the Pixel 6 relevant in people's minds on news publications. And so they just went ahead and leaked it on their own site and pretty much gave us like bare minimum info about the Pixel 6. But I think what would really work out for Google and the Pixel is to separate the launch away from Apple's launch. You know, Apple launches in the fall. You know, we don't want Google launching at the end of the year directly in December. So why not launch in the summer? You know, the A series launching in spring, that's not a bad idea at all whatsoever. I think the 5A was supposed to be the 5XL. The 4A 5G plays the XL for the 5. This is just to continue on the A series, that since Google has had such good success with the A series, they're gonna continue this anyways. There's always going to be a 5A, but to say that it was going to be the 5XL, no, that wasn't going to be it. What they literally had, you know, when they released these phones last year, the 4A, the 4A 5G, and the 5. The 4A 5G plays XL to the 5 and plays XL to the 4A. So build quality of the 4A, going with polycarbonate body instead of doing metal or glass, and then no wireless charging, no water resistance, headphone jack, which all those things implement from the 4A. But then it had the 765G chip, which is the same chip that's in the Pixel 5. It had dual camera sensors on the back. One was a normal wide angle sensor, the other one was an ultra wide angle sensor. So the 4A 5G literally plays the XL for both the 4A and the 5. And then the 4A 5G even has 2 models itself. So technically, specifically, there's 4 models that was released last year. It's just the 4A 5G has 2 model versions to it. One that is sub-6 5G only, and the other one that actually has millimeter wave access. And that one was for $599, $499 for the 4A 5G sub-6 model. The Pixel 5 has millimeter wave access with a Snapdragon X52 modem. So it had the connectivity to connect to millimeter wave, also mid-band, low-band 5G. But of course, it's the X52 modem. So comparing it per se to the X55 or the X60, I mean, those are some of the things that people really got to kind of look into and to see what types of speeds they're going to get. The X52 modem pretty much caps out like at 3.2 gigabits per second on the down, and about 1.5 on the up, I believe, if I remember that correctly. So when you look at at the X60 modem, it's probably going to be a much higher downlink and uplink. Like top off or top out. That's like the highest it'll go speed wise. And of course, modems, the newer ones that come out are going to have a lot higher downlink and uplink. So yeah, the 4A 5G pretty much acts as the XL, which is the reason why that I say, like, if you have the 4A 5G, there's no reason for you to really jump over and get the Pixel 5A. You're pretty much getting very similar specifications, so there's not, a drastic leap forward. Not a drastic leap forward when it comes to from the 4A 5G to the 5A. But it is an upgrade from the Pixel 4A. This guy right here, which is a phenomenal phone. A lot of people really like this, really like this phone. And man, are these notifications starting to get... Yeah, let's go ahead and turn on Do Not Disturb. And I'm waiting for the Pixel 5 to complete its software update. Yes, download, install. I totally forgot to click the download and install. So it's going to download and install. Resume. Okay. And at the same time, let me turn Do Not Disturb. I should have had that on, so all these notifications wouldn't chime off. Do Not Disturb. And it's not because I'm playing a game. That's another thing about Android 12 Beta 4 is when the Do Not Disturb setting now implements the game dashboard and game mode on that. And on my second channel, which the link should be in the description, on my second channel, it'll have the link to my second channel called Paper Clips, which is just small clips that I make here and there. And I did upload one today demoing Android 12 Beta 4, the game dashboard, how to live stream from it, which is going to be really great, especially if you're like, YouTuber that's a gamer or like a mobile gamer, someone that plays Pokemon Go. This natively built into Android is going to be specifically great for mobile gamers to be able to live stream and play. So like if I was like in downtown Phoenix on community day for Pokemon Go, like I'm definitely going to use my Pixel phones to live stream directly to YouTube while playing the event. And it's pretty much what you find in Google Play games when you're able to record to get that floating that floating window with your face in it, so you can see yourself in the viewfinder of that to know that you're aligned in the shot for the live stream. Of course, it live streams screen recording of your game, so that's yeah, it is really cool. But I mean, yeah, I uploaded a second video to that, so it's on there. So definitely check that out when you guys got some time. If Google offers crazy good trade-in value of $150 or more for my old Pixel 3, I'll order a 5A. And you know what? You can always check to see like what Google will offer you. They do have trade-in. At least I know for Google Fi they do. So like on Google Fi, I can see what I can get for my Pixel 5. Of course, I'm not going to trade it in for a 5A, but there are other devices that they will take. I believe even they'll take iPhones too as well as a trade-in. So I'm waiting. I'm definitely waiting for the Pixel 5A to show up and to show up on Google Fi and see if I can order one, get one in, be able to use it. More than likely, if I get the Pixel 5A in, I'll use it, to do like reviews and stuff. But more than likely, I'm going to give that phone to my fiance so she can use it. She uses the Pixel 4A and she totally loves that phone. Pixel 5A, I think she's gonna really like it. Plus, too, it's got 5G connectivity, which I have the Pixel 5 that has the same chip, same modem, same cameras. So all I gotta do is fix the screen on this thing. I know it's still cracked. I haven't gotten it replaced yet, but I will down the road once I have a little bit more money to do that. But yeah, so from the 4A to the 5A, it is going to be a good bump up in an upgrade if you think about it, the aspect wise of it. First of all, having 5G connectivity is going to be great. Bigger display, I think 6.4-inch display. Bigger battery than what's currently in the Pixel 4A. You get the dual cameras on the back, so you get the ultra wide and the normal wide angle. You get IP67 water and dust resistance. So now this thing is stepping into the water and dust resistance territory, which previous A series devices did not. And what else is there to it? Because it is a considerable upgrade from the Pixel 4A. And that's where you have to look at it as. So like the past live streams and videos that I've done talking about the Pixel 5A not being a upgrade from, it would be the targeting point, which is the 4A 5G. It is not an upgrade from it, and it's going to cost $50 less than the 4A 5G. The 4A 5G launched at $499 sub 6 model, $599 for a sub 6 millimeter wave model. The 5A is going to launch at $449.99, according to sources. Well, we shall see. How crazy pull would it be if it launches at $399, basically $400? That would be super sweet, because that is what the Pixel 3A launched at when it came. 5A will have a bigger battery, I think. Yeah, it will. It will have a bigger battery. From the 4A, yes, definitely will have a bigger battery. From the 4A 5G is kind of around that territory. The 4A 5G, the only thing that makes the 5A considered an upgrade from the 4A 5G is the additional year support. Wow, the white balance kind of went off. Trying to fix the oddness of this camera. I guess shooting in my kitchen is probably not a good idea, or maybe I should get more lighting inside here. Or maybe I should have just sat the other way and let the natural lighting behind me illuminate. I don't feel like messing with things right now for the live stream, so I know that definitely tomorrow I'll probably get it from a different angle. Some people will kind of point out like, bro, the lighting's not that good, and I understand that. But anyways, so with the 5A, if I'm able to grab it here soon when it launches, fingers crossed that I can. Definitely going to put it through its paces. I mean, the 5A stands to be the last device on a shifted era. Okay. I think, if I was to compare it to another brand that did something similar, it's going to be the iPhone, and it's going to be the era where the iPhone 8, the 8 Plus, and then the iPhone 10 all launched the same year, right? And I feel like that the 5A kind of represents like what the iPhone 8 was. The Pixel 5A is going to be the last of an era as Google steps into a new era of hardware design and hardware dependency. So they will no longer depend on Qualcomm anymore for their chips, so long as Tensor does great. Now, again, there's a lot of news talking about the Google Tensor chip and literally just saying that it's another, it's the Exynos this, whatever, whatnot. Okay, if you're going to call it another Exynos, chip, technically, could we say that they're far off from it? I mean, Samsung did help them build this chip. Like they did have influence in helping Google design their own chip. It's a possibility, but I don't know. I guess for me, I look at it like, while they're trying to have a juicy story with, a title to just get people to read their article, I feel like that judgment on the part of how the Tensor chip is going to be too soon to tell. You got to have the phone in hand to know. You got to have the phone in hand, and then you got to compare it to a Samsung device with that Exynos chip and kind of really just see how it's really going to behave. And I mean, if you're going to use a Samsung device with an Exynos chip, you're going to have to basically put stock Android on that Samsung device with the Exynos chip, comparing it side by side with stock Android on the Pixel 6 that has the Tensor chip, to be able to get a pretty good idea if they're performing and behaving the same way. I still hope it N6 comes to India someday. Yeah, I know that's the only thing that I thought was pretty odd, was that the 5A is not going to India. India, a really big market, to really help Google and their Pixel line really kind of push. You know what I mean? When the Pixel came to India, that was a good grab of the market for Google, and I'm not sure why that they're not doing it this time around. I mean, people are saying there's a chip shortage, there's a shortage in units. Who knows? We'll see. I notice a lot of phone manufacturers are slowly moving to their own dedicated chip on their phones. Yeah, they are. 5A only available in the US and Japan. We're lucky. Yeah, I mean, well, in the US they're going to be. Google is home based here, so they don't want to axe this market. Yes, as of now, they're only. Yep. More competition in the SoC market is a good thing. It is. I agree with you there. One of the things that this will do, okay, so like, with Google relying on their own chip, building their own chip, and the reason why it's such a positive more than a negative, in my opinion, is, the longevity of Google Pixel phones. Now they're designing and building all the hardware aspects of it, right? So there's not really like an excuse to say why maybe the Pixel 6 couldn't get 5 years of support. And I'm talking about like OS update support, not just security patch. Like going from Android S to T, U, V, W, X, making it all the way to X. It should be no problem. They're building the hardware. I mean, plus, pricing could change. Technically, it could change. Because you got to think, when they were relying on Qualcomm, basically that influenced part of the pricing of the Pixel phones, because of how much they paid Qualcomm for specific chips to be given to them so they can use it in their hardware, into their phones. They got to recoup that cost. And chips are not cheap. Even if you buy in bulk, it ain't Costco. It ain't, I mean, you will save on buying in bulk, but you're not going to save drastically. So, the white balance is like so off. I think that's the only downside to the Pixelbook Go, is that the camera that they used on it, the white balance just gets really thrown off. And I'm like, just okay. So anyways, let's see. Agreed. I'm probably going to pick up a Pixel 6 just to see if Google nailed the processor. You know what? And I intend to also. Of course, it's going to take me some time to get the Pixel 6 to be able to use it and do what I do. But I am very optimistic about the Pixel 6. I think it's going to do quite well, and it's going to open the doorway for more people to kind of discover who they are. Because that's definitely always been the problem with the Google Pixel phones, is getting them into people's hands. Like, and that's a very tough thing to do, especially with what we have out there with Samsung, and then of course Apple and the iPhones. It's really hard to go out there and stand out, even though like people would look at Google and say, you guys should have no problem. You're Google, for Christ's sake. You guys, everyone knows your name. Like, yeah, everyone does, but bad reputation from certain people that have expressed frustrations. Of course, the whole dreaded those that are tucking the pixels in the shadow of the iPhones. I mean, this is the reason why, like, I'm not knocking anybody. I know there's a lot of people who've said this, and I'm not knocking them, but I'm just saying that, to me, I don't like using the terminology that, the Pixel 6 could be the iPhone of Androids, because you're literally like setting that iPhone is the standard bar for every Android to be. And, in good competition, especially when you support something like, I really, really support Google Pixel phones. I really like them. I really like what they bring to the table. And I advocate strongly for them, to the point that I will even call out things that I find questionable and mistakes. And it's not to knock the company. It's just to literally like say, if I'm thinking this, imagine what other consumers who really don't follow tech like that are thinking about that. And I just think that setting iPhone as a standard for what all Android should be is like, no, the competition needs to remain deadlocked in a back and forth. You edge a little bit with Android, edge a little bit with iOS, edge a little bit with Android, and continue that route. And now that, Android has its own hardware, along with all the other ones out there that they pretty much license Android to, but they have their own hardware, the Pixel phone. Now you got the Pixel phone, you got the iPhone, you got the Pixel phone, you got the iPhone. I don't like to put them underneath and just say iPhone's here, Pixel could be anywhere in between, but needs to be here. Like, no, they can stay in their own lane and thrive and compete. That's my mentality on it, but that's my opinion. If the Pixel 6 models are a market success, I have a strong feeling the 7 will be sold in India and in more markets. Yeah, I just don't think that they should have given up the India market anyways. I think that they still could have did it. I don't know why they selected Japan. Not knocking anyone that lives in Japan, but they're gonna sell the 5A here in the US and in Japan. Now, they didn't say nothing about the 6 being locked here in the US and in Japan. Just the 5A is what I've heard. So anyone that lives in India, I mean, I'm sure, the same way that we look to buy devices in India and have it imported here into the US for us to use, I feel like that, those that live in India can do the same thing. They can buy them from here and import them over there. Get them through Google Fi, because Google Fi is an MVNO that's most notably for international travels. So you can order one through Google Fi and have it then have it shipped over. Well, if you know someone here in the US, have it shipped to their place, they activate it, box it, and then ship it to you to India, and you have the Pixel 5A. There's ways to get it. Everyone knows that. You can import those things in. If you want a 5A, nothing in the world is going to stop you from getting it. Well, except unless you're broke. But you'll still find a way. Let's catch some of these here. Yes, hopefully we get the 5 years of support on Pixels. It will allow them to compete with Apple on that front. It will, but then again, it's kind of questionable for that 5-year thing, because Apple looks at that as a negative. I don't know if people really notices Apple on that. I mean, when you look at some of the past things Apple has done, and you look at just like how they've tried to slow down people's devices to try to get them to upgrade to newer iPhones, because people are hanging on to their iPhones a lot longer than what they expected. Like, they expected a lot of Apple users and iPhone users to be like, okay, I have the Pixel 6S Plus, and oh look, Face ID on the iPhone 10. I'm gonna upgrade for the Face ID. Like, they did not expect their demographic market to say, yeah, that's a pretty cool piece of tech right there, the iPhone 10, but my 6S Plus is still kicking. It's still good. I like Touch ID. I'm going to stay. They didn't expect that. So they tried to force people to upgrade, got caught, got busted, had to do a bunch of battery replacements and stuff like that because of the reasonings. Like, Apple doesn't really even support their own 5 years of support. I mean, it does help certain customers who just will never upgrade, and they understand that. And then you got those people who would upgrade only if their phone broke or if their phone started acting buggy, and so they purposely do that. And I think Google kind of recognizes that. So it wouldn't surprise me with the Google Tensor chip that they don't do a 5 year of OS support and that they would rather do maybe like 4 years. That would be fine. Hold on, these comments are coming in pretty quickly. Let me get back to them. Okay. Well, I went too far back. What up, Coffee? By the way, Coffee's in here. So Twitter changed their font. Oh, I see. I can't wait to order a Pixel 6 Pro to upgrade from my OnePlus 8 Pro. That's nice. And when you get the Pixel 6 Pro, hopefully it hits all those checkpoints that you have when selecting and choosing a smartphone, because that's really where it comes down to. It's what you, the user, want in a smartphone. That's why the Pixels always hit those check marks for me. Because if you guys must know, first of all, stock Android experience is what I go for. I've been that way since way back in the day. Even when I bought Samsung devices like the Galaxy J7, 2015 model, the Galaxy, I think the J3 or J6, what was it? I forgot which one it is. But every Samsung device that I've bought, I have rooted and flash stock Android on it, whether it's AOKP, whether it's CyanogenMod, Pac-Man ROM, Paranoid Android. Like, I would always go with stock Android. Stock Android has always been my thing, and the Pixels emulate stock Android. So that's checkpoint number one for me. 2 is photography. Now, I don't go and shoot models or anything like that. But when I go like hiking, when I go places with my kids, I want to get a good photo capturing that moment. And the Google Pixel phones allows me to do that, especially for someone who doesn't know really, like, I don't play with settings, right? Like I have the Nord N10, which has a pro mode and a camera, but I don't play with all those settings. I just want to point and shoot. And I can do that with my Pixel phones, get a decent photo. And if I feel like the photo is just slightly off on things, I can edit that within Google Photos to kind of get the photo that I want out of the shot that I'm getting. So that's number 2. Number 3 is ties in with Google services, right? So of course, if you have a Pixel phone, there are times where you're going to get promotions from Google for Google services to be able to use their products. And so you get those things. And yes, you know what? Call me dumb, call me stupid, but it does make me feel like $1 million when they're like, yeah, you got a Google Pixel phone, so you get this much storage in Google Photos. You know, of course, the newer Pixels, like the 5A and higher, are not going to get it, sadly. But the Pixel 5 and older continue to get the free high resolution backups. All right, let's get back to these. Yes, Apple Bendgate. Let's select some of these comments here. Just display. Making a superior product should be a moment of pride, not greed. Yeah, but you know, at the same time too, in order to develop and build newer products, you have to make a profit, and so, and there lies it is. Pixel 6 Pro seems like a good option for dual SIM. Triple SIM would actually be pretty nice, right? Because you can have a dual SIM, like dual physical SIMs, and then an eSIM, and that counts as 3 SIM technology, right? We're at the point already where we have DSDS support, and so it's possible. The OnePlus went away with stock feeling, and also the 8 Pro has green tint, so that's annoying. Ouch. Do you think Google will ever make another regular size flagship Pixel? They are the Pixel 6 and then the 6 Pro. So those are the Pixel 6. There are 2 Pixel 6 coming, the 6 and the 6 Pro. So that, I mean, if that's what you mean. Yeah, I agree, man. Pixel stock experience is the best Android experience. It is. It is. I know there's people that want a little bit more to it, and I'll tell you my philosophy on that here in a second. They made huge profits. Apple, they just want the greed train flowing. Yeah, that's like any business, but that's capitalism. I mean, it's safe to say that if you started a business and you started making profits on it, and your profits were like really high, I don't think that you would cut the pricing of your product so you can barely make profit. Much less would you reject the money flow. And it's not to say that you're a greedy person, because you could do things with that money, right? Like, for instance, if I built a product and I made a boatload of money on it, I am not going to cut the price of my product because I feel like that my company's being greedy when it comes to money. Instead, if I feel like my company's being greedy, then yeah, I'm going to still make the same profit that I've been making and aim higher to make more profit on it. But then I can always do things like donate to charities and things like that. You feel me? You get what I'm saying? So that kind of counteracts the greediness. Regular size, as in Pixel 5 footprint. It's possible. You know what I mean? As we give feedback, and this is what Team Pixel members are supposed to be doing. Besides them getting the free phone from Google and doing a review, but they should be, I'm assuming they should be giving feedback, obviously to Team Pixel, members like the managers and stuff, and letting them know some of the stuff that people are talking about when it comes to these phones, and kind of helping them get a better footing on it. Besides getting free advertisement. Very Disney, Scarlett Johansson. No Disney Plus money. Now Disney cut ties with her. But I think it's just talk. The only other Android UI I really like was the old Sense UI. Yeah, I like that one. From HTC. Never went back to another OEM when you got your Nexus 5. That's awesome. Both Pixel 6s are about the same size as my 4XL. Yeah, and like I said, in future time, there could be. Maybe the Pixel 7 will have a smaller form factor like the Pixel 5. The Pixel 5 is a sweet spot for me, size-wise. I give it that. I like the size of it. It's comfortable to hold it in the hand. But what was I going to say? Oh, yeah. So, there are some people who don't like stock Android. They get pretty butthurt about it, and that's totally okay. They're like, yeah, it doesn't have enough customization. I have a philosophy when I look at stock Android, and I'm like, you know what? There's so much things you can do with stock Android. That's why you have the Google Play Store, and you have a lot of third-party app developers who develop things such as launchers. And they're really good at it. I mean, there are several launchers out there that I've used that I thought was like really, really cool. There's even Android launchers that even make your phone look like a Windows mobile phone with live tiles and everything like that. So much customizations right there. And then you have a lot of people who build app icon packs that work with launchers like Go Launcher and Nova Launcher, and like you can really customize your Android device even if you have stock Android on it. Just install a launcher and icon packs and really go to town. Just go to town on getting it, getting it customized. And that's the point that I'm saying is like some of these things are kind of superficial when people complain about it. When they're like, I don't like stock Android because you can't customize it. Yes, you can. Yes, you can. You just got to put in the work. You know what I mean? If you want it to look like a Samsung phone, there's a Samsung, a One UI launcher, that's like that mimics the One UI, and then it has the icons and everything. So all those things make a play. You just got to put in the time and effort to customize your phone. Yeah, Pixel 5 is the sweet spot for me as well. But I gifted it to my dad, one of the senior citizens representing Team Pixel. Awesome. I mean, my 9-year-old daughter is representing Team Pixel right now. For her birthday, she got the 3A. I thought the 3A would be a nice device for her. Well, one, it's still being supported and it's going to Android 12. Two, it's got a larger display than the Pixel 4A. I mean, as far as like size wise, I mean, this has like the hole punch display. The audio in it's really good for her gaming and such. She loves her Pixel device, and then she gloats because I have a Pixel 3A that I'm still using, and so she gloats that she has the same phone as me. I mean, just about majority of my Pixels are in play, right? Like the 4A I have here is on Visible. My 5 is on Google Fi. My 3A is on Los Mobile, which I gotta contact Carlos and get the hotspot thing working back on it again because it's not in the iPhone. The iPhone took a spill. And I have a data-only SIM card for Google Fi in the OnePlus Nord N10 5G. The only non-Pixel device that I have in my rotation of devices that I'm using, but I can throw that SIM in the Pixel 4 and use that. So I mean, there's just a lot of stuff. Hi, will it launch in India by this year? So sadly to say that Google's only made mention that it's going to launch in the United States and in Japan, and that's it. Now, people speculate that the 5A, there's a chip shortage with the 765G because that's the chip that it's using. So that's the reason why that it's not going to other markets. I'm not sure why. Personally, I feel like it's a bad move for them to step away from India. India is a great market to have. I mean, think about it. Apple is breaking into India, in the India market to get more units sold. And I feel like that, Google trying to push to have the Pixels in more people's hands, you wouldn't give up such a big market, but they have their reasons for it. I was bored using launchers, so yeah, I agree with you there, Rod. But that's what I say to people. People that complain and talk to me about it and complain to me about it, and I tell them get a launcher, download an icon pack, download fonts, and change it all up. Because I mean, that was the whole point of Android, is that you could really customize it. You could really make it your own. But a lot of people want these customizations natively built in. I mean, Google's listening. You look at Android 12, and now when you put like icons, you put the app icons on your home screen on Android 12, you can have it themed to fit the Material UI, which people are complaining. They're like, oh my gosh, Facebook is not themed, Twitter's not themed, but they forget Facebook and Twitter, those are third-party applications. Google has no control over the app icon that they design, and they have to make one too once Android 12 is out of beta and fully released to everybody else. So as far as like the Google apps like Chrome, Gmail, Messages, Phone, most of the Google applications, if you were to put them on your home screen, they're going to look like this when you have it themed. Like even Google Chat now got its icon themed. And then when you go into the app drawer, of course, they're going to look normal. But for Facebook, for Twitter, for all those, Facebook, when now that the final APIs are set for Android 12, Facebook, when they update their app to support Android 12 and the new features that Android 12 has, they will also make an icon of Facebook that looks just like those app icons on the home display. So when you have themed the icons turned on for Material UI, it will follow with the rest of them. While the 4A is now out of stock from Google Fi. Yeah, they're making way for the Pixel 5. Making way for the Pixel 5, man. So it's going to be awesome. Peter, hi, how you doing? But yeah, yeah, they're going. Yep, it's going out of stock. I really wish they would hold on more, because like at store.google.com, even the blue Pixel 4a is in stock there, unless that went out of stock today. But it was a couple of days ago when I checked, and that blue one looks really nice, in my opinion. That a nice blue, like light blue color to it. and then the orange power button just sets it off. At least they will launch it later in 2022 in India after launching in the US and in Japan. And that's a very big possibility that they could. And just because they're not launching it in India at launch of the Pixel 5a doesn't mean that it may not get it. But even if they decide not to launch it in India at all, doesn't mean that people in India can't get a hold of it. You're just gonna have to go through other methods of acquiring it. I know people that live in certain countries where the Pixels aren't natively sold there. They have to go through a family member here in the US to buy one and ship it to where they live. And yeah, of course, shipping, internationally is costly and you're going to have to wait some time. But if you really, really want the Pixel 5a, it would be worth the wait. I mean, I know what it's like. Trust me. I'm human just like everybody else. I know what it's like to want it. Like, I know for a fact that I have a better chance at getting the Pixel 5a here soon than getting the Pixel 6 at launch because of the price and what I can afford to pay out without hurting the rest of my bills. So when I do get the Pixel 6, it's going to be months later from when it was released. I have to wait that long. Of course, I'm going to see everybody else with the Pixel 6 and be like, I want to hold that phone, I want to use it. But when I finally get it, it's worth it. It's worth the wait. So we'll wrap up this live stream here in another 10 minutes or so. If you have any other questions regarding the Pixel 5a, like I said, I'll throw out the specifications again to what we know so far. Of course, 6.4 inch display, so it's a hefty size phone. I think it's like a 4,300 milliamp hour battery or higher. I remember that. But Snapdragon 765G, 5G, more than likely the Snapdragon X52 modem with millimeter wave support, and of course the same camera sensors as in the Pixel 5. So you get the 12.2 megapixel on the back, you get the ultra wide sensor, then you get the selfie sensor, which same hole punch design. So the 5a is going to be the last of that era, the last to use a Qualcomm, the last of that design with the square camera module on the back, because we don't know what the Pixel 6a is going to look like, but more than likely it's going to emulate what the Pixel 6 is, right? The A series always tends to follow a year behind its flagship counterpart release, right? The 3A launched in 2019, which was, the 3 launched in 2018. The Pixel 4 launched in 2019. The 4A launched in 2020. And so the 5A is the launch to the mid-ranger of the 5. And the 6 launches this year. So next year, the 6A is going to launch. And so that may emulate the same design that the Pixel 6 and 6 Pro have, with that camera bar in the back and basically the triple tone setup, right? Because you have the top color on the back, you have the camera bar, which is black, and then you have another color tone of the body of the back of the phone. And the 6A will probably more than likely emulate that. So 5A, last of its kind. And the 6A might even have the Tensor chip in it as well, which is a crazy subject that I'm going to talk about later on down the road. Is that could we expect the Pixel 6a to break that pricing barrier that we've been comfortable at the A series being, which is under $500? Could it actually exceed that? Because I'm going to assume, and it would be odd that Google builds its own chip and uses it in the Pixel 6 and 6 Pro, but does not use it for their Pixel 6a in the coming future, as of course they're going to be designing a whole new chip more than likely for the Pixel 7. But that's for a future topic. So let's see. Would be sweet if that blue was available on the 5a. It looks nice. It looks nice. I definitely am in support for Google adding more. They could sell a lot of their back catalog of devices like the 3A, the 4A, if they would design the body with different colors. Like if they were to do like a color refresh, like a Pixel 4a releases in a green color with a really odd looking power button accent, or a purple Pixel 4a, a yellow Pixel 4a, like they could definitely do that. I think there is a market for that. It's not a gigantic market that it's going to say that absolutely makes sense, but it is a market nonetheless out there, and they could sell more units that way. That is the whole end game goal of when it comes to the Google Pixel team, is to sell more units. And every idea that they come across, I'm sure somebody at Google already had that idea. Let's do a color refresh on the 3A and the 4A, and get those people that maybe wanted a red phone, get a red 4A. Because I'm like this, without all the stuff that's happened in the last year, the 5A, I would have definitely had set the A series to a higher bar by having like 5 color options for the 5A. But of course, that requires a lot of parts, and if manufacturing companies aren't able to accommodate that order because of job layoffs and stuff like that, like I totally get it. My dream 6A would be similar shape and size of the Pixel 5, but with the Tensor chip and Pixel 6 camera and hardware. What's actually funny, and I don't even know if people actually really think about this, but you guys do know there is somebody out there who's going to take apart the Pixel 6 and build it into a body of like a Pixel 5. And they can do it. As long as they know what they're doing, it's possible. But of course, it's going to be a very, very customized phone, because they went above and beyond to basically put that chip into a phone. And yeah, you gotta know what you're doing if you're gonna mess with stuff like that. Any suggestions for importing the Pixel 5a to India? I don't have any friends or family in the US. There's gonna be websites that you're gonna be able to buy it from. eBay, for one, because there's people who will be selling it on eBay. Of course, you're gonna have to do your research and be very careful and make sure that they are a trusted seller, that they don't have any reviews of being scam artists or anything like that, because there are people who will do that because they know that there's going to be people that's in international countries from us that's going to hit places like Amazon. They're going to hit places like eBay, places like OfferUp and Swappa. But I would say like Swappa, I would look at swappa.com. Shout out to Chris Chavez. But swappa.com, eBay, just look at the seller, the seller's reviews and make sure, because they will ship. There are eBay sellers who, even if you live in India, if you're willing to pay the price for the Pixel 5a and the shipping, they will send it to you. They will ship it to you. Some of them are even nice enough to just charge you the price of the Pixel 5a, and they'll cover the shipping. You just got to find those people. So I would say look at swappa.com, look at eBay. You can look at Alibaba. I don't know how trustworthy that site is. I've never really bought anything from Alibaba Express, but I'm hearing people talk about like, bro, you should really check out some stuff on there. They got some cool stuff, and like, yeah, they got people who are selling like the imitated iPhones, and whatnot. But I mean, I don't know. I would definitely say look at those options. But anyways, everybody, thanks for hanging out with me, chilling with me on this live broadcast. Really appreciate you guys for being here. If you guys enjoyed today's episode, then this is hashtag Pixel Fanatic, both also the replay crew, hashtag Pixel Fanatic. Again, big round of applause to the newest Team Pixel guys and gals. So again, round of applause to you guys. We're happy. We're excited for you guys. To Big Tech Reviews for making it in that list. So shouts out to him too. Y'all head over to his channel, show him some love, congratulate him for making it to Team Pixel. And yeah, Maybe next year it'll be my turn. Just gotta wait a year now again. Maybe I'll never be a part of it, but that's okay. Y'all take it easy. As always, Law. Have a great rest of your Thursday.